Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning, madam.
Good to have you again today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, quickly, we have few things we would like you to talk about. First, there are so many security problems going on in Nigeria now. What do you think is the best way to stop insecurities?
Um, that's a very good question, and this insecurity problem seems intractable. Seems that it has no solution, but it has solution. What causes insecurity? Who is responsible? Who are the criminals?
Family.
These criminals are well known to us. Every person has a place he comes from. Every village knows its children. Every family knows its children. So they are not from the air. They are not from outside planet. They are from here. So every village knows its children. So we're talking about insecurity. Who are the who are the people causing insecurity? The criminals, the unknown gunmen or known gunmen or gun men. I don't know how to describe them. Where are they from? Who are their parents? Who are their heads of families, heads of villages? Where do they come from? They didn't come from the air. They're from somewhere. So it is easy to tackle this thing from the root. It's very easy. I remember in the traditional society, Igbo society where I grew up, if you come home with some wealth or riches, the head of family will call you, they'll summon you to explain to them how you got all this money. So it has to be from the root. We can stop insecurity. We can stop, we know what every person does. Every person lives in a house, even if you are not a landlord. If you're a landlord or not a landlord, you're a tenant. Every tenant lives in a house, and the landlord knows who lives in his house. So every tenant, every landlord should be able to know who lives in his house and what he does for a living. So you can actually control this. You can actually know what causes this thing. Now, insecurity. People come, they now do kidnapping, they go and kill people, they kidnap people, they do so many things. And who is in charge, who is in the position to stop it? It's not left for only government. Government is not helping the matters now. Whether state government, local government, or federal government, they are not able to help the matters. So my advice is that we shall go to community policing now. In the ancient days, in the olden days, every youth is a police officer. All our youths were our policemen and our soldiers and our army. So if we now mobilize all our youths in every community, we will be able to fish out these criminals. See what happened in Aba in some years ago, in 1990, about 98, 99. The insecurity was too much until the people in what we call Aba shoe line, Bakassi line. Those are shoemakers, but their line is called Bakassi line. These youths decided that they must stop this menace. Insecurity was terrible in Aba in those days. I was in Aba then. Some of my clients were there who formed that Bakassi boys. They were actually Bakassi line, shoe line, but they now use their name as Bakassi boys. So they now said, okay, this is enough. So some of them didn't even tell me what they were planning, but they planned overnight and they descended heavily on these criminals. And that was how Bakassi started. And they were able to curb it, stop insecurity in Aba until they wanted to go to the excess. Then we now brought a bill in the Abia State House of Assembly and passed a bill to regulate them because they were taking laws into their hands. Sometimes they'll catch someone who stole only akara, just akara, a child that is hungry and maybe he steals akara to eat. They'll get him and cut off his head for eating akara. So some things they went to an excessive limit. So we have to bring a law to control them. Unfortunately, after many years, some politicians entered the whole thing and scattered them and destroyed Bakassi boys. They formed their own rival, Bakassi boys, and that's how that. But that gives you an example that we can solve this thing by ourselves. Our youths can solve this problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. If I understand you very well, you are advising that we go into community policing. That's a good one, so that each community will have some boys that are, guiding them. So that's a good one. Okay, quickly. A lot of videos making rounds on social media about Fulani headsmen clashing with farmers and villagers and taking over their farmlands. Some people are even running away from their villages. Some no longer go to farm for the fear of the Fulanis. I mean, this has been going on for quite a long time, but we don't seem to know how to solve this problem. So, how do you think that this problem can be solved? Is it the work of the federal or the state government?
Thank you for that question. You said Fulani herdsmen. We have seen it. We have heard about it. We've seen it on the social media. We read about it. We've seen the video circulating. How they go to any place, they go and they sack a whole village, enter their farmland, destroy everywhere, and take over. Now, the first thing is that government has failed us. Government supposed to stop such menace, but government has failed. And my advice is that the people will now defend themselves. I'm a lawyer, and the law permits you to defend yourself and defend your property. There's a right of defense of life and defense of property. So defend yourself, resist them. Why will you stay and somebody comes to take over your farmland and you keep quiet? Resist them. Every means possible, resist them and stop them. You see, the Fulanis, they belong to the northwest region. Sokoto, Zamfara, that area, that's northwest. So they have a homeland, really. They have a homeland in the 6 geopolitical regions. They have a homeland, which is northwest region. So they should confine themselves to northwest. Now, if they say they want to wander about with their cattle, enter another person's farmland, that is wrong. You are destroying someone's farmland. You don't have that right. They can say they have freedom of movement in Nigeria, freedom of movement. Your freedom stops where another person's freedom starts. Your freedom, yeah, you have freedom to move, but you don't have freedom to enter my land and destroy my things and take over my land. You don't have that freedom. So my advice is that you should resist the devil and the devil will flee from you. That's what the Bible says. These people come to take over your land and kill you and take your land. No, resist them, resist them, resist. That is the answer, resist them. If you don't resist, they will kill you and take over your land. So resist them and protect your land, protect your life. Because Nigerian law permits you to resist the evil. Resist whoever wants to take your land and your property. Nigerian law says you have the right to defend yourself and defend your property. So don't allow them to take over your property. Now, I appreciate they are in that business of cattle rearing. Good. It's just like every other business. They can hire a place and build a ranch. That's how it is done in overseas, developed countries. You are a cattle rearer. Then go and acquire land for ranching. Do a ranch, and then people will come to your ranch and buy cow. That's how it's done. You don't go roaming about and destroying people's livelihood because you are into business of cattle rearing. People have other businesses. People do spare parts. How do you think it will be if people doing spare parts or those that are doing piggery will now come to Sokoto and kill all of you to establish their spare parts business or to establish their piggery business? No, that is wrong. So just like the businessman in spare parts business or piggery business or poultry business goes and hires an accommodation to rear his pigs or his fowls or to do his business, so also Fulani herdsmen go and hire lands, buy lands, hire land, and build ranches for your business. Cattle rearing is a good business. And if you have ranches and it is doing well, many people will be interested in patronizing your ranches and then that is a good business. But don't go destroying people's lands and taking over their land. That is wrong. And I'm a lawyer, and I'm advising every villager, every person, please take control of your land. Resist the devil. Resist and protect your life and protect your properties. If the government fails to protect you, please protect yourself by anything, every means possible. Protect yourself and protect your properties. That's what I will say.
Okay, Barrister. Thank you very much. It's really nice to have you here. We understand that these Fulani people moves with guns and machetes and all kinds of weapons, and most times they attack villagers who do not have anything to defend themselves. We are not allowed to own a gun in this country, and these people move about with guns and machetes. And so how do you think people should protect themselves?
Good. That's a good question. The Fulanese go about with their machetes and guns, AK-47. They go around. I've seen it on videos. I've seen it, and then we think they are Nigerians, all right? And by your question, you said we are not allowed to carry guns, but they're carrying guns. So how did they get the guns they're carrying?
Exactly.
Go. So the way they get the guns they're carrying, so let every person also get the same gun, the way they get their own guns. That is it. So in a lawless situation, it is unlawful to be lawful. Listen, in that situation, that particular situation calls for extra measure. That situation, they are carrying guns coming to you and want to get guns. You say we are not allowed to get guns. How did they get their own guns? So let the people of the land, the communities, anyhow they will get the guns. Get the gun. If Fulani comes with a gun, come with your own gun. Shoot and I shoot. It is kill or be killed. So in a situation like this, you don't say, okay, they say we shouldn't have guns, but the people coming to you have their guns. You don't do that. You don't open yourself to attack and say, I don't have gun. Please prepare yourself. Get ready. If machetes, you can use machetes. You can use any means possible. Use anything possible to defend yourself. So this situation where we allow the Fulani herdsmen to be carrying guns and killing people with guns and matches and so on, while other people are told to surrender their guns, it is not acceptable. It is not. It is either everyone has gun or nobody has gun.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we will try our best to protect ourselves. Our lives are important. So, last one, because we have many questions for you, but let's take it bit by bit.
That's all right.
So, how do we solve the problem of corruption in this country? Leaders are embezzling funds meant for the masses. No infrastructure, no amenities. I mean, if you go to so many states, you will see places that needs a flyover or bridge, but it is not there. And then you end up in traffic for 1 hour, 2 hours before getting to your destination. These are all forms of corruption. So how do you think the problem of corruption can be solved in this country?
Yeah, the corruption is a problem, a very big problem in Nigeria, and starts with leadership. The leaders, dishonesty. You are given allocation for your constituency, for a state, or to do a work. You pocket everything, you bank it in overseas, and steal the money that is meant for the public and send your children overseas, and then you will be living big, living large, while we are suffering. The masses are suffering. The money that is meant for the masses, you embezzle these things and go away. And the thing is this: I'm happy that Nigeria eventually will be restructured to regional autonomy, and then the governance will come to the grassroots, to community level. We know how to handle these things before. That is, we can catch a thief, a politician, or a leader in our community, a leader who has embezzled public money. We can catch him, and we know how to treat them. So this time around, they are being protected by Abuja. So when they steal these funds, they'll go and live in Abuja. All those criminals, those political criminals, where do they live? They don't even live in the village with us. They go to Abuja because they know we know them, and that if we see them, we know what to do to them. So that they run away. But if this restructuring happens now and governance comes to the grassroots, we know who is who. And then money is allocated to you from our regional fund. Our money is given to you to do a road, and you embezzle it. We will come to your house. In fact, I can tell all the women to come to your house and urinate in your house. In fact, we know how to do this. We have customary laws. We have to have what to do to make sure that you are punished. We may not hang you, we may not, but we will disgrace you. We can make you naked, but we will recover the whole money you have embezzled. We're going to recover everything. You can do it now. Right now they are doing it and running away, going to Abuja to hide themselves. When restructuring happens and the grassroots governance comes to grassroots, you cannot embezzle our money and run away, because we know your house. We will come to your house every morning. We'll come to your house. We'll surround your house. In fact, women will come there and urinate in your house. There, we will stay there until you vomit everything you have eaten. Let governance come to the grassroots, and you see the embezzlement, all this corruption will end, because we know your house. Right now, we can't catch you because you run to Abuja, and we can't get to Abuja. But let grassroots, let governance come to the grassroots. You cannot embezzle our money and run away.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Emeka.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and we'll, we'll hope to, have you more often, so you can tell us about so many things. We have a lot to educate our people, a lot to educate the youth. So we would love to have you again. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye.